Hello and welcome to the Sport for Business Daily Interview. I'm really pleased today. We're joined by Pat Keogh, is the CEO down at the Curragh Racecourse. Racing, of course, made its comeback, the first elite sport to take place on Irish soil on Monday with racing at Naas. There's been racing at Leopardstown, but it really steps up a gear this weekend. We've got the 1,000 guineas and first of all, the 2,000 guineas taking place on Friday at the Curragh. So a very warm welcome, Pat. What's it been like preparing for a classic race day where there's only going to be 300 of you on the racecourse?
Good afternoon, Robin. Thank you very much for the invitation to do this. I appreciate that. It's been very unusual, and this is a very strange time for all of us, and particularly strange for us. Your normal build-up to race meeting is just so different. You've got all the issues that you normally have to deal with, but on top of that, there's something very unusual about this one. That is that it's great to be back racing, and racing is a shop window for the whole industry. I mean, it's where it all happens, and the racing coming back kickstarts everything else, because the various sales will only take place when you've racing happening. So the industry, to a certain extent, comes to a standstill if you don't actually have racing. So the responsibility on all of us that are involved in staging any of these race meetings has never been greater. I mean, I suppose, working in any sports stadium is challenging because you don't know what the day is going to throw at you. So you're always nervous about that. So you've all those pressures that you'd normally have, but there's that added one as well, that every single individual that is on a race course at the moment carries the responsibility for the whole industry, because the protocols are very clear, what we can do, what we can't do, and we've just got to all play our part and make sure that we don't drop the ball. And I'm extremely confident that won't happen, because the protocols have been set out by HRI and by the IHRB have been very detailed and very well done, and we've all been through them several times. But it's just unusual. Of course, what you miss is the atmosphere on the day created by the public. We miss that. We miss the celebrations, the owners, and all that goes with that. But I mean, it's just so good to be back, and we know that we will have audiences back at some point. At some point later on in the year, it'll be different, because it'll be, we'll have whatever protocols we'll have in place then. But I mean, it's just so good to be back, and it gives us the opportunity, to, as you say, it's the first live sport back. It's getting great TV coverage. It's getting great social media coverage. So really, this has given racing an opportunity to showcase it, and there's no better way to showcase it than with the Tattersalls Irish Guineas Festival.
Tattersalls are the sponsors of the two races. They are an industry body, obviously big sales operation, both in Newmarket, all around the world, and up at Fairyhouse. How have they been as a sponsor? Because obviously it's very different for a sponsor. You've got no hospitality. They're not able to entertain any of their clients. I guess from being within the industry, they'd have a good understanding of the importance of it from the bigger picture. But have you been in close contact with the team there, and in terms of working out what they can and can't do?
We've been in close contact with all our sponsors from the very start, because it wasn't going to be the same. And different sponsors want different things. So the live audience is very important to some. The live attendance on the day is very important to some. And the ability to entertain is very important to some sponsors and not as important to others. TV coverage is very important to some. RTÉ coverage is really important. We've racing TV coverage at all meetings. So when dealing with your sponsors, what each individual sponsor values as part of their relationship. So we've always had a very open relationship with them. This is what we can deliver, this is what we can't deliver. So for this year, we said, right, we can't deliver this, but we can do more of that. And we have offered them whatever additional supports we can give them. And social media has really come into its own this year in that regard. And then the build up to the meetings, we've used social media all the time to promote the racing, to promote the sponsors. And then the TV coverage gives us a great opportunity, dare I say it, a unique opportunity as well, to do that. So we've dealt with them all. And they're all, sponsors are in, some of them are in different places. Like unfortunately, some people in the retail and the hospitality industry, their business has just ground to a halt. So what we've tried to do is to maintain all our relationships, and just kind of say, right, let's do something for 2020. It's going to be different, and let's get us back to where we would expect to be in 2021 as normal. Let's hope that we get back to normal service for next year, and let's just build something different, and hopefully something very good for this year. And sponsors have been very good. Like, we're really pleased with our relationship with our sponsors, and they've, by and large, they've remained very loyal and very understanding, which is great.
That's great. It's a grounded approach to to do what we can for this year, and then to obviously move on and maintain the relationship. You mentioned the television coverage. You've got RTÉ covering both of the evenings. We saw ITV over in the UK got very big numbers for their coverage of last week's 1,000 and 2,000 guineas over at Newmarket. The betting turnover was substantially up as well. Are you conscious of the fact that there will be more eyeballs perhaps on the two races now this year than ever before?
Probably didn't need to remind me of that, Rob. I'm very conscious of that from both points of view. So, I mean, the responsibility is on us to put on the best possible show that we can from that point of view. But this is a great opportunity because TV coverage is just so important. It's a great opportunity to showcase your sport, and it provides a very, very, very wide audience. The meetings, both meetings on Friday and Saturday, have moved into twilight meetings, so it's peak TV viewing. RTÉ's coverage has been fantastic. RTÉ have come up with a completely new program for this year, so racing is going to get a great chance. ITV are taking Friday night. They're having an evening program which will bring Irish racing into the UK, terrestrial TV coverage in the UK as well, and that's always nice to get. So yeah, the coverage is great, and of course Racing TV have good viewership as well, and they've done quite a number of different offers as well for people, for people to watch, to have a free for view for during this period of the lockdown as well, and that's gone down very well. So there, people sitting at home, there is racing there. It's an opportunity for them to see some live sport, and hopefully, they will enjoy what they see.
We do love our sport, and of course this is the longest gap that we've ever had between live sport and in RTÉ's coverage. So pushing the boat out, there's an extra program running over the coming weeks as well to put another spotlight on racing. The quality of the racing, obviously at a very high standard. Plenty of good homegrown talent coming through there. We don't have any overseas challengers coming in for the Guineas. Little bit early on in the whole situation, but would you be confident that by the time the Dubai Duty Free Irish Derby rolls around at the end of this month, that we will see some overseas visitors?
I think there are two factors why there won't be overseas runners this weekend, Rob. The first one is that racing started back in England on the 1st of June, so they ran their Guineas meeting last weekend, and Royal Ascot starts 10 days after their Guineas meeting. So if you're, the trainers in England had a lot of choice on their doorstep over that period of time. They had plenty of races to run their horses in. Normally those meetings, the English Guineas would be, the first Saturday in May. We'd be then, we'd follow 3 weeks after that. And then you have Royal Ascot coming 3 weeks after that again. So everything is well spaced out, so a horse can actually do all three if they so choose. That's not an option that opened to them this year. So with the amount of choice that they had at home, it was, we weren't going to get many runners at all. There is another issue there at the moment, and that is that for someone coming to Ireland, so for a horse coming to Ireland, the groom coming over with it, would have to be here for 14 days beforehand. And that was something which was very challenging. That was something, which made it much more difficult for them to do it. Now there is a way around that. So there's another alternative to that, and that is for the horse to be brought over in a horse box, and that horse then to be delivered into the care of an Irish trainer or an Irish agent, and that person would look after that horse, for the race meeting year. That's very doable, but it's not as people would prefer do it. So just at the moment, we're in a situation where there's a few things have been against us, and let's see where we get to for the end of the month for the Dubai Duty Free Irish Derby weekend. And I'm delighted that we were talking about sponsors earlier on. Dubai Duty Free have been huge supporters of Ireland. They obviously they not only do the racing, but they also do the Irish Open, the golf as well. And they've been very loyal supporters of the Curragh. And we're delighted that even though they've challenges in their own business, that they will be absolutely on board for the Dubai Duty Free Irish Derby weekend at the end of the month. So that's something else to look forward to.
That's great to see. Well, I'll let you go. You've got a busy day ahead of you. We can't encourage people to go down to the Curragh, obviously, but we do want them to tune in to RTÉ's coverage. What time is the coverage starting on Friday and Saturday?
Well, the coverage, the racing starts. Sorry, I have to put on my glass at this stage. I've been doing well for a while. The racing starts at 4:05 and it goes on until 7:45. So you can lounge into your chair and watch it for the evening. So it's a great afternoon. There's 8 races at each meeting now, so every opportunity, and if you fancy a bet, there's every opportunity to make a few bob and be entertained for the evening as well.
Excellent. I won't put you on the spot by asking you for a winner for our viewers, but you pays your money and takes your chances, and
it's actually interesting. But the Tattersalls Irish 2000 Guineas on Friday evening, there's 11 runners. And there's 6 different trainers of runners in it. Obviously, Aidan has more than anyone else in it, but it's actually really nice to see that there's a spread of different horses and different yards. That's got to be good. And at the moment, and we don't know what way the betting market's going to turn out, but Siskin looks like being favoured for the race. Ger Lyons' horse, and so there's plenty to play for Friday night. That'll be a great race. Really looking forward to that one.
Excellent. Well, I know it's going to look great, and the very best of luck in making sure that all those protocols are fully adhered to. I have absolutely no doubt that it will be a very successful day on screen, and we look forward to getting back down to the Curragh later on in the year. But for now, thank you very much to Pat Keogh from the Curragh Racecourse.
Thank you very much indeed, Rob.